I remember this just like it was yesterday. And by the way, my name is David J. Stubbs, and all these stories will be in Raised in Both Worlds at davidjstubbs.com. Yeah, I was fresh out of college, I remember. I was out of college about a year, I think. Maybe 2 years. My mama come to me. She said, my sister told me to tell you to not let them cut her leg off. I say, how the hell I supposed to stop them from cutting her leg off, mama? She said, David, remember when you were young? We told you that you were our grandfather. He was a great Cherokee Indian chief and medicine man. And somebody in the family supposed to get his spirit within his children, grandchildren. And I told you that me and my sister determined it was you. And I'm like, but Lynette say I can do it? My mama say, David, you can do it. So now I'm pressured. But I remember a letter I got from a famous psychic named Sean Roberts, who used to be in the National Enquirer and the Examiner. And this lady gave me a lifetime reading. And everything came true, even from my job. It said, you're going to meet a man named Jay, first name Jay, last name Pete. And he going to make you one of the greatest at whatever you do in this world. So I applied for the job. The guy gave me the job. And one day, I know the guy named was John. So I ain't thought about the reading then. But he took me out there. He said, what that is? I said, Rosalind Lactonia. He said, I don't know what the hell you talking about, but get in that back room and study diseases. So I'm wondering what that man talking about. Then he showed me another disease, and I said some long name. And he said, man, that dollar spot. And he said, there's other one. What you said again, son? I said, Rosalind Lactonia. He said, no, man, that brown patch. They didn't learn y'all nine in college? I got to call them boys up because they slipping, right? Go back there and study. I can't even believe I hired you. So I'm just studying and studying and studying. I see Rosalind Lactonia, brown patch, sclerosis, or something, dollar spot. So I took it to him. He looked. He said, man, y'all had to learn all that? I said, yeah, because it's lots of different brown patches and dollar spots. So they teach us the ones, the most common ones. He said, man, well, you smarter than me, son. Welcome aboard. And I say, sir, I had a psychic reading a good while ago. It say I'm going to meet somebody on my next job, first name John, last name Pete. I said, what's your last name? He said, bring that letter to work tomorrow. I got to read it. He said, my name, Perham. And both of us were shocked. He said, man, that ain't no guesswork there. He say, bring that letter to work. And me and him read the letter together, and everything had them came true except for the last part. You're going to be the most powerful prophet to ever walk the face of the earth. You is so powerful. You can heal millions just by visualizing and picturizing. And it has some date where I'm going to start to manifest. I forgot what date it was. Say you're going to start to manifest, right? But really, manifestation is death most of the time, you know. You manifest when you die. But I thought about that when I was thinking about my Aunt Lynette. So maybe she knows something I don't know. So I know I had to meditate where complete quiet. So that was at my mama's house, right? It was completely quiet certain times of the day. So I would go there and meditate. And I end up in some crazy ring. I mean, some crazy, spooky ring. And I did that the whole week. Right up until she had an operation. And I don't know what kind of ring it was, but they were like doing this like African dance and singing and all kind of stuff, rituals. Every time I go in that ring, they'll be doing rituals, right? So one day I come from work, and my mama approached me. She said, Lynette told me to give you $50. I say, Lynette? Mama, Lynette don't give nobody no damn money. She say, man, you saved her a leg. I said, what you mean? She say, right before they were finna cut her leg off, the doctor just say, wait a minute. Let's do another x-ray just to be sure. And when they did the x-ray, it just showed where her toe needed to be off. So he cut her toe off. And Lynette, the happiest lady in the world, you can't tell her nothing about David. She crazy about you, boy. I said, but mama, how did Lynette know I can do that when I didn't even know? She said, because all my sister and I got together and we realized you the one who possessed my grandfather's spirit. You are our grandfather. And you got power beyond normal means. And if I'm not mistaken, my mama added another 50 to it. You know what I mean? You know, some people can push you to your full spiritual potential, what you don't even know you possess. That's why I love it. I love the spiritual world because you learn something new every day. I done been in it now for at least 55 years. And I learn something new every day still. Remember that. All psychics not fake. Thank you and God bless.